Federal prosecutors are now investigating a 2017 leak of classified information about a Russian intelligence document, according to a report from the New York Times. Investigators are reportedly focusing on whether former FBI Director James Comey illegally provided details to reporters. It's the second time the Justice Department has investigated leaks potentially involving Comey. Comey had been cleared before when it was determined information his lawyer gave to the New York Times was not classified. CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge joins me now from Washington. Hi, Catherine. What more do we know about this new reporting into this new investigation into Comey?
Well, Tanya, what we know through our reporting at CBS News comes from a single source who confirmed the broad outlines of this investigation, that investigators are looking at a classified leak in 2017, and they are considering whether the former FBI Director James Comey or someone within his inner circle was responsible for that leak. And I want to go to some tape from 2017 because the document in question came up during congressional testimony between Comey and Republican Senator Chuck Grassley.
The New York Times recently reported that the FBI had found a troubling email among the ones the Russians hacked from Democrat operatives. The email reportedly provided assurances that Attorney General Lynch would protect Secretary Clinton by making sure the FBI investigation, quote unquote, didn't go too far. How and when did you first learn of this document? Also, who sent it and who received it?
That's not a question I can answer in this forum, Mr. Chairman, because it would call for a classified response. I have briefed leadership of the intelligence committees on that particular issue, but I can't talk about it here.
You can expect me to follow up with you on that point.
Sure.
I know a little bit more about that document through my own reporting. There have always been questions among intelligence analysts as to whether this document was a legitimate assessment and the email was legitimate, or whether this Russian record was part of a disinformation campaign to further confuse and interfere in the 2016 election cycle, Tanya.
And so tell us why this investigation is important, Catherine. And did Grassley indeed follow up after that 2017 question?
Well, Senator Grassley did follow up with a number of other senators who wanted to know the genesis of this record, and they also wanted to understand how it got into the public domain. I checked in with Grassley's office late yesterday, and they confirmed to me that they got a lot of pushback, a lot of stonewalling in their view from the FBI about this record. And based on my reporting yesterday, they had never seen the record in question. And the reason this investigation matters is because it goes to the issue of classified information, the leaking of that information, what kind of damage can be caused, and whether the rules for leaking classified information are applied in an equal sense. We've seen a number of prosecutions here in Washington, D.C. over leaks of a much lesser degree, if you will. So the question is whether, if they identify the source of the classified leak, will it be held to the full standard under the law?
And then is it common, Catherine, to investigate a leak years after it goes public?
What I know through my reporting, Tanya, is that when the Republicans controlled the House, they pushed over a number of criminal referrals for consideration by the Justice Department and the FBI to consider investigating, and one of them had to do with leaks coming out of the FBI. What I understand is that these leaks investigations have been ongoing, and they've been covering activities in 2016 and also 2017. So we've had a number of them come to a conclusion, as you mentioned, leading into this segment. Director Comey's handling of the memos that kickstarted the Russia probe, that was completed. There was no prosecution there. But these others are becoming ripe, if you will, and now they're starting to move on them. So I would argue that 2 years is actually not a lot of time when you're talking about a federal investigation. And leaks are so difficult in terms of identifying the source.
And is this investigation at all related to federal prosecutor John Durham's investigation into the origins of the Russia probe?
What's got my attention here is that based on recent reporting, what I've been able to learn is that John Durham, who is looking at the origins of the FBI Russia probe, as he's learned more information, he's refocused his aperture, if you will, and he's now drilling down on this time frame of January to May of 2017, and that would encapsulate the alleged leak in this case. And I was told he's doing this because the paper trail is so strong. And of course, if you do proceed with any kind of criminal prosecution, the paper trail really matters in terms of the evidence, Tanya.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Catherine Herridge, thank you so much.
You're welcome.